And in this one, let's go ahead and take a look at some custom work that I did on the McFarlane DC Multiverse Dark Detective from the Future State storyline. Now, I did open this guy up a couple of days ago, and ever since then, I haven't been able to put him down. I've been working on him, giving him some new weapons, pretty much having a lot of fun with him. But now it's time to take a look at the repaints, and finally I could put him down and move on to the next figure. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. The things I did, we'll start out from the top with the head. Now, a lot of these things did come from images from the comics, but most of this was inspired by the Prime One Studio statue release. Now, there's a couple of images online that you could look to get details, that you can't really see in the comics. But all in all, I'm really happy with this guy. Just go through some cool stuff that I added. Now, on the cowl, we did go ahead and add some kind of gunmetal silver to the lower part of the jaw of the cowl, because that is on the statue. It does give him a little bit of different aura. Instead of it being just all black, he has that little hint of chrome, gunmetal kind of steel color. Added some accents like into some of the detail work, and then also like a little bit of lines, kind of like scarring lines, like he's been through a little bit of battles. I also did color in some of the skin tone that was around the ears, because I think they went overboard. And if you look at it on the statue, the ears are more just like a singular part, and the black actually goes around. And on the back, I also added some silver that was on the statue, so just gives them a nice added bit of detail to the half cowl there. And I've actually grown kind of partial to the ear sticking out. I kind of like it now, because it like differentiates him from like the other Batman. So, and it fits more in line with like his down and dirty, gear that he uses, the tactical gear that he uses. So I'm really liking that. Sweet. Now, coming down, if you open up the coat, I actually added the same like gun silver, gunmetal gray to the chest armor, and that kind of makes it pop a little bit more than that flat gray that was on the original release. And I just like it more. It just gives them some more polished, like a polished feel, instead of just that flat plastic. This one has more like a shine to show that it's more like body armor. Really digging that. Looks cool. Now let's get into the arms. Now, these pauldrons, these like black pauldrons that are on his shoulder, I actually went ahead and gave them like a bronze wash, because I didn't want them to be pure metal looking, but I think they have like a little bit more hint of brown, because originally they're just flat black. And it kind of fits in more in line with the brown of the coat, but it still looks pretty cool, because it gives it like kind of like a metal finish. So that was pretty awesome. And then one thing I did talk about before was the elbows, how they were white. And when you pop open the elbows, I think it should be more flesh tone. I did get some nail polish remover and take off that white paint. And since the plastic was just a flesh colored mold, it made it just flesh color without the white. So it looks a lot better when you bend those elbows. That now they're like in flesh tone instead of white. So it looks a ton of a lot better. Going down to the belt. Now, this was a big part that I really enjoyed working on. It looks a hell of a lot better, and that is the belt. Now, starting off, I added a yellow or gold. The other gold was like a little bit more bland, like bronze kind of, and this one's more like a high yellow. I think I used Inca gold. And right on the buckle, originally it was just all gold, but if you look at the statue, this little dot in the front is actually black, and then it has like two little blue pinpoints. And I was actually able to add those, and it just gives it a more finished feel. So that was something that I really wanted to try and do, and I think it looks pretty nice. So then the capsules and some other parts of the belt also I hit with that high yellow gold. And then what I did is to all the pouches and the buckles and all that, I did add a little bit of wash of like a darker brown and then even a lighter brown that just gives it some separation and gives it more texture, more feel than just one solid plastic look the way it originally was. And then the rope on his right hip, I did do that like in a gray, like a kind of glossy gray. All of this stuff, once I hit it, I do let it dry and then I put a matte sealer on it just because I don't want it looking too plasticky unless that's what I want to go for. But so I don't want it too shiny. I like it more like a dull look, like kind of like a maquette look. That's what I like. So I did the rope, and then moving down from that, you kind of have like these armor squares on his thighs, and originally they were just a flat black. So I went ahead and hit them with a little bit more like a jet black, and then I did the white trim around, which I got from the statue, and it really makes this figure pop. Like I just love that. The way it looks, it just gives it more life, which was really what I'm going for. Instead of like a dull, just plastic looking figure, this one's giving it like a lot of cool details if you look like closer at the figure. And then I did hit all of the boot armor, the knee pads with some black, and then I did seal it, and then I did put like some gray streaks just to give it like some worn down, you know, damaged areas. So it gives it some highlights. Pretty nice. Moving down to the boots, I love this like a toe guard, and I actually did it in the same gunmetal that I did the armor and the lower part of the cowl, so they would all match. It has kind of like the same hints of paint all throughout the figure, but I really love how that came out, and it's still articulated. Looking at them from the bottom, I also did the treads in the same gunmetal, and then I just sealed it because that's pretty much what's always going to be, hitting the floor. Now on the back, this was pretty awesome because originally it was all like a olive green kind of tan plastic, and I actually went in and did all of the straps that hold the guards to his shins, and some pouches there, and even some light gray for the buckles. All in all, really love looking at this guy now with all the details painted in. Moving up the back, if you lift up the coat, this was a big thing that bugged me when I did my review, and that's that these like kind of batarangs that are folded up on the back of his belt, they were just the same color as the belt. So I went ahead and did them in that Inca gold to give them some separation. Like I said before, if you look at it before, it just looks like one piece, and now you could tell, each pouch, the rope, and then even those gold throwing knives, just give it more life. Now on the coat, I didn't do too much, but at the very bottom of the tips, I kind of gave it like a dark brown, just little wash only on the tips, just like where it's really jagged, just to give it like a more worn, dirty look, because he's out there in the streets and the gutters and stuff. Really awesome. Another thing is on the fists, I did add these like silver, like kind of guards, like on the knuckles, which was the same gunmetal paint that I used on the rest of the figure. Now as for weapons, I did take this plain double barrel pistol kind of shotgun looking thing, and I actually painted it in, did the grips in brown, like a chestnut brown, and then added some gray, and then some more of that jet black on the sides. And then what I did do was add some highlights of some chrome, like on these two firing kind of pins on the back, and then down the middle, and then of course that just like slides right into his hand. I also have a effect that goes right on the tip of one of the barrels, just to like give it some effect, finish it off. Pretty nice. And I also, don't let me forget, I did paint his like grapnel part, his like grapnel rope that he came with. Did the rope in gray like I did the one on his hip, and then I did add some hints of chrome like on the tip and around the little brackets on his grapnel. So pretty happy with that. And then finally I did give him his own custom little batarang. Now I did do this one in the same Inca Gold. Just like I said before, you want to use the same like vocabulary of paints. Like if you use some here, you want to use it in the bottom, in the middle, and just gives it the same hints of color throughout the figure. But I did give him this little. Now the reason I like this one for him was it kind of has like a mechanical look to it with like different hinges, and it was actually silver, but once I got it gold, it just really fits with him. It looks like it could kind of be folded up and be the ones that were like on his back. So yeah, was happy with it just for like a little added weapon there. Anyways, guys, a lot of fun working on this guy. It kind of got me back into doing some custom work, which I had kind of been slacking for a while. But once you start getting back into it, it's really fun. These McFarlane figures are like a real customizer's dream because you could have fun with them. You could switch out parts. You could give them weapons, head swaps, all that good stuff. But anyways, guys, keep hunting out there, keep collecting, keep customizing, and I will see you on the next one.